Okay, remember, just like in the last video, rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3.
What are we doing now?
Loser intros this video.
Why would
rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Huh? I won that one.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I won that one.
Man,
you make it
like
too easy.
The rock, paper, scissors champ.
You make it too easy.
Well, we're here in the learning yard. If you didn't see the last video with Roy Adams Outdoors LLC. Roy is one of our Hives for Heroes newbies, just a super awesome guy, local beekeeper here. And Roy, you've been here from the very beginning at the learning yard and actually helped us install these packages. So I think it's awesome that you're going to be here to help us kind of assess the damage, see where we're at, and then you'll be a part of that process of, well, what do we do moving forward? If you haven't seen that video, check out Picking Up the Pieces. There's also a live stream of what kind of happened, but in short, we had some microbursts and sideline winds came through and really knocked so many colonies just right on their ear. And so now it's a matter of picking up the pieces and moving on. We got everything put back, but now we need to assess and see what kind of situation the colonies are. Roy, let's get in here and start digging through and let's see if we're queen right. Let's look at the overall condition of the frames and the hives, and then if anything needs help, let's do it.
Ready to go?
Okay. Well, grab your smoker. Well, you know, when we started off this morning, it was 56 degrees and chilly, and I've got my hoodie on. Eventually, I'm going to have to shed that, I think. It's starting to get nice and warm.
It's supposed to be 80 degrees today.
80 degrees?
Yep.
So this is a colony that we started off. A buddy of mine, Houston Shelton, was out here to help me put the package in this one. You can check out his YouTube channel, Houston Shelton Bees. He's a great guy. Have a lot of fun with Houston. Grab your smoker, grab your hive tool. Roy will work on the back side here. Go ahead and crack that lid and kind of see what we're working with here. Okay. Well, I can hear bees. That's good. We had bees on the front entrance. Okay, let's go ahead and just shed this box. Okay, so it looks like not a lot is going on in this top box. Okay, that's the first thing I noticed is we had bees in 3 boxes here, and now we're kind of down to, they're looking a little sparse, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, not a whole lot in there.
Okay, go ahead and just give them a little bit of smoke. And then go ahead and let's crack that box.
Taking it off?
Yeah, take it off and just maybe sit it right here on the lid. Not a lot of bees there either.
Nope.
They're looking pretty sad. Okay. I'm not seeing anything in these ones here, are you? If you just look underneath, there's just I see a little ball of bees in there. That might be where the queen is at. Let's go ahead and look at all this. You can see when we were putting everything back. Yeah, I got wood splinters. Looks like some box damage. And then look at all the dead bees that were getting squished in between as we were putting everything back in the rain. We'll go ahead and get some of that cleaned up. I don't like to leave dead bees on the rims. I don't know if it really causes much, but dead bees make a smell, and bees are kind of in tune. Now we've got some bees poking up here. Let's give them a little bit of smoke. I'm starting to smell sour pollen. When I smell sour pollen, I get a little worried because I usually see hive beetles to follow. Yeah. Go ahead and work that box and get in there and let's see what we're looking at. I like what you did there, moving the frames over and then pulling out that outside frame gives you some room to work. Okay. Well, we got bees. That's good. Okay, we've got some coverage. I see we've got some pollen here.
Some on the other side.
So for me, I'm already starting to think, well, maybe we are queen right.
A little bit
That's
of
the
pollen down in the
first.
cells.
There is some pollen in the cells.
Yeah, this side's got some
Okay.
too.
Go ahead and just set that on the stand, lean it against the box. What I'm noticing almost right away is this box is roaring and this box is quiet.
Larva.
We're seeing
Eggs,
larvae.
yep.
Okay.
Eggs all the way out to the edge.
We got eggs. Awesome. Well, that's good. Looks like they've got eggs, they've got larvae. That tells us we have a queen that's in there. What's interesting, as you put that back and grab the next frame, like we mentioned earlier, we kind of threw a curveball for this colony way earlier in the year by pulling the queen out, getting them queenless, and then giving them a virgin queen that after 4 weeks wasn't mated. I marked her, I put her back in here. And then I was trying to trick folks to say, hey, look, well, it turns out it was that 5th week of being a virgin, she actually went and got mated and then came back. And so when I gave that curveball for everybody, the queen's in there and she's laying. And so it was like, oh my gosh. So that was a fun opportunity to see, oh, okay, 5 weeks later, a queen can still go get mated and start laying. That was a really neat opportunity. I'm sure we'll spot her, but I'm seeing on this side, I'm seeing lots of sealed brood. I wouldn't expect this colony to be more than a 5/5 going into the winter time, but I guess we'll have to see how the rest of the winter or the rest of this fall goes. They were in triples and they were working on kind of filling out that top box. So it looks like we lost probably half of the bees as far as the numbers themselves, but looks like they're bouncing back. Now that's interesting. Look at the other side. Look what they're doing late fall.
Drawing comb.
They're drawing comb. That's that Premier Foundation. What's interesting is they're drawing that comb and I don't even have feed on them, which looks like what I will do is we're gonna probably go ahead and put a bucket of feed on these guys. We're not gonna expect any honey from them this year. All we want them to do is kind of just build back. Overall, I'm not seeing a lot of damage yet. On the combs, they've got everything cleaned out. I know, especially this box, when I was putting these boxes together, these frames, I was shaking. It just seems like gallons of water out of them. So you go ahead and just put that right here. Put it right there on that side. Yep. You really don't have to put the frames back in the same order, but what we want to do is make sure that we just keep all the open brood and things together, so you're good. Yep. All right, so I'm going to go through this box and see what we're looking at here. So that box, Roy's box, it was roaring. This has got empty comb here. Now they are putting away nectar today. Now this is interesting, and I think we're looking at storm damage. Look, we're in the middle of all this and around this, where there's nothing. I don't wonder if these are ones that got wet and cold, and they've drug out the larvae.
Pulled them out.
Yeah, from this area of brood. Yep, and the same thing here. Look at this. So here we have some babies hatching, some storm babies. Isn't that cool? What a testament of resiliency, just by seeing that. That's super cool. What's interesting is we can see not everybody made it, but these ones did. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna put this back in here. Let's check the next one. Okay, now this is interesting here. This looks like brood that got chilled and abandoned, and they're starting to pull this off. You see here these open caps?
Yep.
So I don't think there's enough bee coverage. Look, see, this is a great example here. We can see out in the open here, there is some sealed brood, but totally unattended. And it looks like she has gone back up here and started to lay up into here, which is interesting. I don't know if you can catch that. some of the eggs. So that definitely tells me we have a queen. They're trying hard to get everything put back together. I think we're going to be hard pressed to see this colony really fill out 10 frames. Same thing here. That's interesting. Look at all that. Never really had a chance to see that before, but you can see what is left of the brood that they didn't pull out and remove. You got another one hatching there too. Yep, not a lot of bees in this box. Not a lot of bees in this colony. So in this one, looks like they're starting to maybe try to put some nectar away. Looks like we have some damage, some goofiness here in the comb. They're working on trying to build it back, try to fix this comb here. Put some stores back maybe. I'm physically not seeing the queen. Not to say she's not in here. She could be in the sidewall. For right now, there's no need to do a deep dive to actually find her. We found eggs and we have larvae. If you looked at the location of those eggs, there's one egg in the center at the bottom of the cell.
Yep.
We could always have a situation where it could be laying workers, but we'd find several eggs.
In the cell,
usually, yeah, and they're usually stuck on the sidewall. Yeah. So for now, we're going to just say that they are queen right, and we have eggs, and they are working on moving forward. This box here, I mean, is almost abandoned completely. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. We're gonna leave this box off, Roy.
Okay.
We're gonna put this one back on, and let's go ahead and we'll just. I think I am going to put a bucket feeder on there. That's the beauty with the bucket feeders, is it's there if they need it. If they prefer to just have fresh nectar, they will. They'll take it. So I'm going to take our plug out. I'm going to go grab a bucket. We're going to put a bucket on there. Well, Roy, that's the beauty with these buckets, is it's real versatile. We can just come right on top here. We've got Pro Suite inside of here. For folks, if you're not aware of these bucket feeders, it's a bucket that we have a special plug in. We've got 3 holes in this plug with Pro Suite. It percolates with vacuum, and the bees can pull the feed as they need. What's nice about that is, I'm in no shape for exercise.
What'd you run for?
I don't know. I was thinking he was recording. Man. What's nice about the bucket is yes, it's gonna give them a little bit extra to store if they want it, but primarily it's gonna keep that stimulative effect going throughout the colony, which is really what we need right now, cruising for the next month or two. Keep that colony feeling like they've got fresh incoming nectar, which is going to help that queen continue to lay and keep growing back out that colony. And hopefully they will fill out both of these boxes. They may need some help from another colony. We might want to drop in a couple extra frames of sealed brood from something that was unaffected by the storm. Maybe some resources just to kind of build them up. Yep. Okay, I got an extra bucket here. Now let's take a look at this one.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Image Farm. If you're interested in NUCS, packages, queens, or supplies, visit us on the web at nature'simagefarm.com.
Okay, so what do we see in the top part of this box? A lot of propolis. Oh, look at that. Wow. I love seeing this. There's a lot of information out there, especially from Marla Spivak, about the propolis envelope and the potential health benefits that propolis can have inside of a colony. A lot of folks are bothered by propolis on how sticky it is and how much of a mess. When I see it, oh man, I love it. What you can do here in a situation like this, we could leave it in the colony, but it's in here on a super, and so this super is not going to stay on there long term. What we can actually do is just scrape this off and save it, and we can take this back and make a we can kind of make a filter it. We'll make a propolis tincture with it. Look at that, awesome. That's a lot of propolis.
It is.
That'll make a lot of tincture. Okay, I'm gonna set that over here. All right, so these are a little different. I just want to crack these open, and let's just see what these frames actually look like. Oh, they're back working on it again.
There's Captoni up there.
Yeah, it's got some weight to it. So that's pretty cool. So there's what it looks like from the side. Let's take a quick peek at this next frame over. And if we look inside of the hive there, so far I'm not seeing really any damage to the frames. They are pulling out. There's a lot less nectar than there was, but it looks like they're working on capping off whatever is still in there. So I think what I'm going to do with this one, Roy, depending on how strong the colony is, if the colony is still strong down below, I think I'm going to leave this alone, and then I'm going to let them backfill this with goldenrod.
Okay.
And then we'll still have that opportunity where we can see what it's like to extract a little bit of honey off the flow super equipment. And then we'll put a regular super on there. Maybe the plan would be take some medium frames from some other colonies, put those in a regular size super on top for the winter time, and just extract and pull this off. I don't know that I want to keep this on the...
Since it's medium.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to keep this on for the winter time, but we can give them another box from that we can pull elsewhere to meet those needs there. Roy, if you'll grab that box and just set it off to the side there. Hey, look at that. We've got bees clear up in the excluder. That's a good first sign. Well, so far it looks like they've been busy. I'm seeing a lot of bees in there. Look down in these seams here. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and we'll put the excluder on top. One thing I like to do is rather than dig through this top box and then take it off and then dig the second box, I like to, because we're gonna be working quickly. I think what we should do here is just split it off. This one looks like it's getting a little spicy. They're starting to really bust off the frames there. Let's give them a little bit of smoke there. We had to pause for a camera battery, and we're gonna go through this one a little bit quick. I noticed the other day walking back through here, this hive definitely just had a certain vibe going on with them that they just weren't happy. I mean, I can understand that they're not happy. All right, so we have sealed brood here. Okay, but what I'm looking for is the evidence of a queen. Okay, I'm not seeing any on that frame yet.
Captoni over
here.
here.
Yeah, a lot of sealed brood. I did see one bee there, had a little bit of pollen, not a lot, but a little bit coming in.
Got eggs and larvae over here.
You got eggs and larvae on that one, okay.
Yep. Fresh cap brood.
Let's see those eggs.
Cups.
All right. Well, I think I've seen what I need to see. If you have eggs,
as I was saying, I got a whole frame of cap brood on the next one.
Are they out of room in that box?
It's a good possibility. The outside frame was pretty well capped honey.
Yep. Okay. Looks like she's back into this box, laying. This one definitely has some room. Has some places for her to lay.
Bricklayer, whole frame.
Oh, nice. Look at that. Yep. Cool.
Both sides.
We have some pollen coming in. They're definitely on edge. I would expect, I mean, I guess I want to say that I expect them to be a little edgy, all things considered, but they've had plenty of time to kind of calm down, I would think. So why this one is this feisty? Let's see that smoke there, Roy.
Yes, sir.
Go and just give them a little puff. Yellow, there we go. Perfect, thank you. Oh yeah, this queen is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wall to wall.
This whole box looks that way.
Sealed brood.
Got hatching
I kind of want to see her now.
Eggs backfilled in.
Yep. This is also one of the ones that we, didn't we pull a queen from this one too?
There she is right here.
Yep. Yep, there she is.
Yellow dot.
Yep, there she is. All right, look at that. She made it through. Nice. Well, that's one of our Appalachian mutts. She made it through. All right, well, looks like one of the storm queens made it through. Let's put them back. I don't think we don't really need to see any more. Finding her, I guess, was bonus. And we're gonna put our super back on. That super's got some weight to it. Put that dude back on. Queen right, that's great. I'll have to give us a little puff here. I'm kind of surprised.
To see her in there?
Because this one was just a toppled mess, just all over the place. Now this apame was completely attached, was way back, way even behind where the camera was at. This bottom tray was out 80 feet or so, way out this way. What we did that day for Learning Yard is we washed them. They were at 2%. We decided to go ahead and put ApiGuard on. So there was an ApiGuard tray in the top of this. Have no idea what kind of mess that made. So we're gonna find out.
Good question.
But go ahead and we'll start, just take that latch off the lid. We'll have Jake take a sneak peek inside of here, see what we look like.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Image Farm. If you're interested in NUCS, packages, queens, or supplies, visit us on the web at nature'simagefarm.com.
Well, there's the ApiGuard tray.
Lots of bees.
Lot of bees. Wow, look how chill they look. Let's split the box.
That's gonna say it's got some weight.
The bonus to this one is at least we had an excluder on there. So if we have a queen,
She should be in the bottom.
should be down here. Okay. So at the last Learning Yard, what we did is we kind of reorganized the colony to put some fresh frames underneath and anything with brood down below. Look at all this activity over here. Our queen's probably going to be down into here. Cat brood. There's no larva in there, that's usually the first thing that I'm concerned with is an eruption. Is you got the sealed brood there. I mean, it could have had nectar or something around it that they're consuming. They're drawing this out. This is cool. So they're drawing out these premier frames in the fall. Do you smell that? It looks like goldenrod just started. I think we are just in the first day or so of the goldenrod flow coming on, which is interesting because they've drawn the foundation and now they're storing that goldenrod. That's pretty cool. Yeah, same thing here. They're drawing it out. So they're putting at first when you look at it, and I'm seeing just do nothing but draw comb and then store nectar in it down here. My first instinct is, well,
There's brood.
okay, yep, there is definitely brood.
Drone cells, couple of cups.
Yeah, we got some cups here. Maybe are we looking at maybe queen injury and a replacement? Let's see, there's nothing in here. A dry cell. Dry cell there too. Have some drones on the outside edge. It's not uncommon. Aha! Bingo.
Hey.
We see what we need to see. Eggs. We are almost through this colony, so I might as well just take a quick glance to see how much brood to emerge. So this one, they're just capping, and they have some already sealed off. So that's good. No, it means we have our next little workforce is in motion. That's pretty interesting. If you look at the color
Of the cappings.
of the cappings, that's pretty cool. You can see that fresher wax on top.
Fresh cappings up there,
Yep.
and then
Now,
older
what's
cappings.
interesting, if you look at this, so here's a cool little opportunity. If you look and can see that band on top of there, why would there be a light band around the top part of the frame that now has brood in it?
Probably previously had honey stored up there.
That's right, exactly.
Now they've come back
Yep.
and backfilled it with brood.
That's exactly what happened. So we took those frames that were in the top part of the box that had honey in them, and we brought those down, and where they already had this, they've already started to seal with that older wax, and the new wax, they've got it cleaned up.
Larvae and eggs all the
And
way
we've
out
got
to the
larvae and
corner.
eggs
Yep.
all the way in there, don't we? Cool, and that's neat to see that whole thing. All right. Beautiful.
Oh, right there.
There she is.
Yep.
Man, that's beautiful. Look at that big, beautiful frame, wall-to-wall brood. Our queen is in there laying, going to town. And this last frame, I'm only going to look, not because I need to or I have to, I want to. And I just want to see what they're doing with the outside edge. And oh, that's beautiful. Brood. Okay. Open larvae and eggs.
Bunch of pollen on that one.
Yep. Excellent. All right, so looking at this, Roy, what are we seeing, do you think?
Without going through the top box, just need to check stores really.
Yeah.
See what they got.
Yep.
Obviously queen right.
How heavy was that box?
It's pretty heavy.
And then I'd say there's not much that I need to really probably see in that.
Nope.
If this was the only colonies that we had to look at today, maybe. But we not only did we spot the queen, we saw the evidence of the queen.
Lots.
They're calm, they're chilled out. I'm seeing no damage at all to this apame underneath. I mean, if anything, it looks
Good thing for the
completely
latches.
intact. All right, let's go and put that excluder back on. And check that out.
Drone stuck in the
I'm
top.
seeing that we just have bunches and bunches of drones still. Yeah, we still have drones. Which is sort of handy when you have to make those late season queens to really feel like it's not even late season because you have such an abundance of drones everywhere. All right. Okay. This one we actually extracted honey off of in the learning yard this year. Now, yep, and then look underneath. I'm seeing bees clear up here, which tells me I'm optimistic that this one is also going to be looking good. Now this one does not have an excluder on it, but I'm just going to look down at the top frames here. When you look down and see, you know, I'm not seeing any of the wax built out. I'm not seeing a lot of bee activity. So for me and my goals right now, will I have a queen up here laying eggs?
Probably not.
Probably not. So since today's goal is to check for queen right, we're just going to pop that box off. You can just stack it on top of this one. Looking underneath, we have bees that are just starting to get up under there and work.
I can smell it in this
We're probably
one,
not even going to put this top box back on. I am seeing bees start to kind of pop up and poke through. but not seeing an enormous amount. So let's take this box off too and just split it. We'll
Cap
just set it
drone
on top
cells
of here.
over here.
Oh, drone cells.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Look underneath.
Really
okay.
light.
It's light?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing, I'd like to see more bees than this in here for sure. Now, judging just by, we just popped the box and I see this cluster here. That tells me this, most of the bees are going to be right here on this side. Very likely is probably where we're going to see the queen. So go ahead and see if you can't get in there and just push these frames this way. They're drawing that out. That's beautiful.
Bunch of pollen stored over there.
We got pollen, okay.
Ooh. Bunch of drone brood.
Seeing anything in there?
There's a couple larvae down in there, but I don't see any eggs.
Okay.
Not much on there.
It's been about 2 weeks since the storm, so if we get into situations here and we still don't have eggs, if we're not seeing queen cells either, we're kind of in a little bit of a predicament, which would warrant kind of going. I would lean towards we'll go grab a queen out of the queen yard. All I'm seeing is a bunch of open cells there. Any eggs or larvae?
Not seeing anything.
Okay. All that brood that was in there, they've pulled out.
A little bit of pollen stored on this side. No eggs, no larvae.
Okay. Boy, these guys are really unbalanced. We don't really need to have this many boxes on these guys. See what's in this next frame here. If it's empty, we're gonna leave it out. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and just pull that out completely. It's too late in the year for them to try to fill out another 10 frames. If it's drawn comb, we'll leave it in. If it's undrawn, we're gonna pull it out. Yeah, you can see where it once had brood, they pulled it out. So those are ones that got some rain. They got chilled. They pulled them out. Okay. Same thing. Look, you can see where there once was
Brood in it.
tons of brood. Nothing in it. Yeah, this one's not looking good. I'm gonna shake the bees off. Take a look at that one, Roy. I'm just seeing some sparse sealed brood. That's it. Well, there's a bunch of larvae here in this one. Let's take a look at these last 2 frames. Maybe they're okay. Maybe we put them back. They definitely have had a setback. Here's another frame, sealed brood. I'm not seeing any eggs though. Why am I not seeing any eggs? Okay, the timeline is interesting because there is brood that is within 7 days. We have sealed brood, but I'm not seeing not a single stitch
Of eggs.
of eggs. So unless our queen has moved up into
Super.
the supers, but I guess I need to know that before we make a call here. Right now, this particular box has most of the brood on it. For now, let's just put this box back right on top of there. Okay. Well, let's see. Maybe we have a queen over here on the super. I'm not even really Nothing going on those. And we got nectar.
There she is.
There she is. So this particular hive was one that when we pulled the queen, we were trying to kind of mimic a swarm kind of a situation, which when folks got in here to look at it, they saw cells. This is a queen from a cell. If we see eggs in here, then I think that we're okay. She's clear up here in the top. Oh, we do.
So you can larva out here.
Yeah, look at all the milk brood. I think she's looking at the current configuration. We know we've got a 10 frame single that's pretty solid in bees. We have this upper one where we're not really quite sure what's going on with it. It's got about what, there's probably 5 frames, 6 frames of bees up there. They're drawing things out. There's a goldenrod flow coming in. We have a queen. She is laying. There were some dry cells in there. This could go either way. We could just replace the queen, but I'm seeing a lot of eggs. You know,
in the super though.
In the super,
where she's not using the
the
almost empty top.
I almost wonder if there was maybe some some wetness or something going on in those boxes.
She didn't want to be in there.
Yeah, during that storm, maybe they moved up up here where it was dry, where it was safe, and that's kind of where she's sort of been hanging out. And laying. I mean, the fact that she's laying, yeah, this is laid up. Looks like she's laying fine. These next couple frames, we might even see more of that. So I guess we probably ought to mark her. Just a little dab will do you. Oh, I'm really starting to smell the goldenrod.
When the wind is right, you can smell it. Yeah, I smelled it when I took that box off. Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, so here we have a storm queen. She pulled through. That's great.
Should have gave them their special color.
I should have. Should I give them a special color? Let's give them a double color.
Double color. There you go.
Let's give them a yellow with a pink.
And a pink.
Because she's special. It's like a yin yang. Okay. Well, that's a storm queen, Mark.
Storm queen. There you go.
All right. Thank you, lady. I'm happy to see you again. Thanks for hanging in there. So let's go ahead and consolidate their space. That'll let them focus on filling out this bottom deep. And also, now go ahead and take that box and just bump them down. There you go. Okay, we're going to put our box that our queen is in. We're going to go ahead and let her just be on top of here. Okay, I don't think they may never do anything with this top box, but if they do, we might be in you never know what they could do. Now we're gonna kind of tighten up their space that they have to work with.
Start drawing.
Yeah, start drawing.
Fill it out.
I don't know if they're actually going to have a surplus, but I think that this was a good move here. Now I feel pretty confident that they have enough time left in the season to lay up brood, at least within this deep and this medium, to move forward. This box is probably just extra, but we'll go ahead and just leave it on there for now, and we'll check in on a week, kind of see what they're doing now. So far, I mean, we are 1, 2, 3, we're 4 for 4.
Queen right, yep.
I mean, that is not, if you would have asked me right in the middle of that storm, what's the chances of those queens making it? I mean, I wouldn't have thought they would have made it. Maybe they're way more resilient than we give them credit for. It's like something like a storm and downpours and golf ball size hail comes through the bee yard and doesn't kill them. But you make one wrong move with a hive tool or a frame and you squish the queen in the hall.
Yep.
All right, well, let's take a look at the lighthouse hive. Well, we know everything was okay here. This hive stood the test of time. What's interesting though, I don't know if the camera can see it. Look at all the hail damage.
Oh yeah. Bunch of dents all over the top.
You see that dents?
Mm-hmm.
Just loaded full of dents. Took a pounding. What a this is neat because it's like a testament to what happened there. But if you want to find out more on why this hive is special, definitely check out the Picking Up the Pieces video and find out why this hive is special. We've used this hive so many different ways this year. We've made so many extra queens and little splits using these little side compartments. They're all isolated from each other. We have robbed from this mother colony so many times this year. And yet here they are still just going to town. I really enjoyed going and seeing Ricky Rorick down in Creston, North Carolina to go pick this thing up. And you just have no idea sometimes. You're in the middle of doing something. That's just what you just don't know the impact and what that means for the rest of the year. It's neat to be standing here after all the things that have happened, all the things that we've been through, and this hive literally has been a lighthouse to us, but to so many folks too. Here we are at nearly the end of the season. And no matter what happens in our life or in the yard, here this colony still stands like a lighthouse, shining above. That's pretty cool. Look at that. We have sealed drones getting ready to hatch. How beautiful is that? These green frames really are. Oh, look what I see.
Is she on there?
Yeah, she's on there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's laying an egg.
Yep.
It is brought to you by Nature's Image Farm. If you're interested in NUCS, packages, queens, or supplies, visit us on the web at naturesimagefarm.com.
Let's see if we can get that, Jake. She's the queen we talk about where my pen exploded.
Is that the one where she?
Yeah, where I didn't dab it off.
Painted up.
Yeah, she's the one that we talked about. There she is.
Seen the paint down her legs.
Look at that. Those are good markers. I mean, look how the paint is still all over her legs, and they haven't taken it off. Hasn't rubbed off. That obviously is not an ideal situation, but the learning opportunity here is don't leave your pen in the hot sun, right? Make sure you dab it off first. But if you do have a little accident, when she goes to the salon and gets her nails did, that's a lot of excess paint, and she is firing away.
Yeah, not going to kill her.
So there's one learning aspect. The other learning aspect is we took this queen out of the colony for 5 days and then reintroduced her.
And she's still alive and kicking.
So hey, there's if anything, you always have to look for the silver lining and the learning opportunity. She's plugging away. Well, the lighthouse hive, the queen is still there. After putting her back, taking her out of the colony to put our grafts in, 5 days later we pulled the grafts out. We took the queen, the frame she was on, introduced them right back to the colony. They accepted her. She's laying up a storm. She's going to town. Everything is fine. There's a lot to learn about a lot of this, but when you're caught in the middle of the storm, you don't know what to do. All you can do is just move forward, detach yourself from that situation, dig in, start putting things back one at a time, move through it, and then check up on things later. Now we're looking at this situation and we're 5 for 5. Every colony in the learning yard has a queen, and they're working on rebounding and rebuilding. Like, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I
never would have guessed it.
I wouldn't have guessed that. That makes my heart skip a beat. That we've been here, we've all worked together at this. The storm came through. We got soaked. We might have felt like we got beat, but we didn't get defeated. And here we are rebuilding, picking up the pieces. Everything's bouncing back. And you know what I just thought? Now we have all these extra queens.
Yeah. Where are they going to go?
I don't know. Stay tuned for the next video. Maybe we're going to make a bunch of late season splits. Roy, again, I want to thank you for everything that you've done to not only just be a fantastic mentee, but as a friend, and you've been here to kind of see us through and help us along the year. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for us. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what you do with your journey. I just don't know what to say. I'm thankful. I'm so grateful that we're in this situation. We've got another, 45 or so colonies to go through, but if this is any testament of what we're going to be looking at, I think we've weathered the storm way better than we could have ever expected.
Absolutely.
Roy, I want to thank you again for everything you do for us. Thank you for being a lighthouse, and looking forward to seeing what you do with your beekeeping the rest of the year.
So I appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for having me out.
Yep, you betcha. As always, remember, be the lighthouse and be the change you want to see in this world. We'll see you next time.